Hello everybody and welcome to another VOD of myself of Kaldor. I just returned from the Seabit and I really enjoyed the convention. It was really fun. At first I refused to go there because I didn't want to commentate on one of the small booths, and I just finished casting the FX Open Invitational, which started really late at night in Europe, and I was so exhausted. But for 2 days I went there. I went to Hannover, where the Seabit was actually taking place for Friday and Saturday. It was really nice. I met up with all the Mousebots players as I was commentating on the Mousebots booth a couple of StarCraft 2 show games. It was a lot of fun, and I especially enjoyed meeting Hazorps again because I haven't met the guy for another I haven't met him in 2 years. I've been away in Australia for a year. I had to finish my studies and all that stuff, so it has been a while. And yeah, I enjoyed it quite a lot, especially meeting up with Mana, for example, as well. So all the players were at the Seabit, of course, playing the IEM, met Hydra, Moro, QXC, Tarson, and also players like Moonglade, for example. And yeah, the people were really nice, and some of them really surprised me. The little one, for example, is much smaller than I thought. He's really little, and I expected him to be much taller. I have no idea, but due to all the video streams of him, I thought he was taller than me, a lot taller. But actually he wasn't, and also Hydra is quite a small guy, and he's really nice. I was surprised about that as well, because if you just browse through the forums and read what people write about him, you always get the impression that he's a little bit arrogant, that he might be cocky, but the fella was such a nice guy. He was talking to everybody, and people were asking him for autographs all the time. It was really nice. Yeah, I enjoyed talking to all those people quite a lot, and of course I met a lot of people that I knew from the old times in Warcraft 3 as well. Yeah, one person that has been missing on the Seabit is, for example, Grubby. And Grubby, I talked to him, yeah, I think it was last weekend. He sent me a couple of replays, and this is one of the games that I'm casting right now. Is a game of Grubby on Metalopolis versus a Terran player called Gomas. And he told me that I'm not allowed to watch the replay before I cast it. This is actually the first time that I'm going to view the replay myself. And yeah, I'm surprised what the game is about, because he told me, yeah, it's such a nice game, and just make sure that you haven't watched it before. So that's exactly what we are going to do right now, and we're jumping into the game. And let's have a look of what Grubby is doing in this TVP on Metalopolis. He's starting on the 6 o'clock start position, as we can see, and yeah, Grubby is playing quite a lot on StarCraft 2 lately. I think he gained about 1,000 or 1,200 ladder points last weekend within 2 or 3 days, and I was quite impressed about that. I told him, hey, Manuel, how the hell did you manage to do that? And he was like, well, yeah, and you know, my ladder pool, yeah, on the ladder it's not too hard for me at the moment because I have a really large bonus pool. And I thought, yeah, but still, that's quite a lot of points you earned within the last few days. And he was actually saying that it's quite easy for him, as he doesn't have to cook, he only has to do the dishes. So definitely one of the benefits of being a married man. Grubby and Cassandra, so obviously she's been cooking the last couple of days, and he only has to do the dishes, which enables him to play a lot of StarCraft 2. Right now he's just chrono boosting his Nexus. Grubby is on about 3,000 ladder points in the Master League right now. Just places his pylon right between the two of his ping guys and going to scout with one of his SCVs. His opponent starting on the 9 o'clock start position on Metalopolis as a Terran player. Gomas has roughly 3,800 points in the Master League at the moment, and he's quite an experienced Terran player as well. APM wise, he's quite ahead. He has about 3 times the average APM of Grubby right now, 240 roughly against 80 by the player from the Netherlands. And right now Gomas is just placing his refinery, nothing special going on in his main base. Of course the barracks is being built for the Terran player, and in the meantime Grubby is still scouting with his probe in his main base. Of course he is taking the first gas and building an assimilator as well, the second pylon being warped in right now, and we see 15 to 15 harvesters, so no surprises here. And of course Gomas is just going for his orbital command, just upgrading his command center, and in the meantime just building his second supply depot. I'm really eager to know what Grubby is going to do in this game. As I already mentioned in the first minutes of the VOD, he told me that I'm not allowed to watch this replay in advance. So let's have a look at what he's doing right now. Just scouting with his probes, and the probe gets killed before it actually reaches the main base. Killed by Gomas Marine. So first blood for the Terran player, and he's immediately starting to build his factory. So we are seeing a 1-1-1 build probably. Let's just wait a little bit for that to happen. In the meantime, the cybernetics core finished for Grubby, and he just cancelled his second gas. So apparently he was going for another simulator, but cancelled that and warped in another pylon up here, so you can actually warp a couple of units down at the bottom of the cliff. And of course we see the first Zealot just taking position at the ramp in order to deny scouts of Gomas. And the Terran player has already finished his orbital command. We see the first mule in the game, the factory is being finished as well, and we see a second refinery for the Terran player. And the first Hellion being built. One Hellion being built, and in the meantime, well, Gomas doesn't have enough minerals right now to go for a starport. But Grubby is just going for his robotics when the Terran player starts to build his starport in the main base. And Grubby here with a 1 gate into robotics facility play. It's just warping in the second gateway and doesn't have a second gas yet. So actually at the moment he's on only 1 gas, which is a little bit surprising to me. I thought he would go for earlier a second gas, but right now he's going for the second assimilator, as we can see. And adding another gateway as well. So he's on 3 gates right now, 3 gates and 1 robotics. Just building another pylon back behind the gas barrier. And that's actually pretty smart, just placing a pylon here in order to see when the Terran player is about to drop. Got a couple of free shots at the Hellion, so apparently Gomas just was walking with his Hellion very close to the edge, and Stalker of Grubby was positioned well enough in order to get off a couple of shots at the Terran unit. And in the meantime, Gomas obviously is planning for a couple of Marines supplied by siege tanks, and might even be pushing at around the 8th minute against the Protoss player. We'll see about that. He's on a 39 supply. Grubby on the other hand has 35. And is going to scout the base of his opponent with his observer. We see already a Raven being built for Gomas, so he will be able to detect the observer quite soon. And Grubby just having a look, a small peek at the Terran main base. Of course he saw everything that's going to happen here. He saw about those buildings. And we see a small fight at the Xel'Naga Watchtower. The probe is losing to the Hellion. Oh my gosh. So that was a surprise. No battle probe. It's just an ordinary probe being picked off by the Hellion, but immediately Grubby is present with his Stalker and just chasing off the Hellion in order to deny him a little bit of scouting. And adding a starport and his first Immortal, whereas Gomas is just building another orbital command center first, and will obviously just upgrade it to an orbital as soon as possible. Right now we have 2 tanks for Gomas, and he has already 1 Raven, and you can get, this can actually be really hard to defend if you push as a Terran player with a couple of Marines as well as siege tanks, and you have 1 Raven that's able to get off a point defense drone. That's really hard to defend against. For example, Hazorps was losing that strategy as well on the XMG tournament in the final against Cloud, as well as Mana. Both Protoss players had a lot of problem dealing with that push. And Grubby has already 2 Immortals, so he's not going for any fancy or any standard fast Colossus play. No, he's just getting a couple of Immortals, which I really like a lot, because in my opinion Immortals are still being a little bit underused, especially against Terran players that tend to play really Marauder heavy. But as we could see right now, that Gomas isn't going for any Marauder heavy play. He's just adding another Viking. Has his first medivac, he has the Raven ready, enough energy for a point defense drone, a couple of tanks being added, and supply wise the Terran player is a little bit ahead. There's 63 supply against 60. Harvester count is on 28 for Grubby, 28 for Grubby and 32 for Gomas. I was right about it the first time. And we see 3 Immortals and a couple of Zealots right now. Grubby scouting a little bit with his observer, and just saw those 3 bunkers being built for Gomas. So the Terran player at the 10-minute mark is playing quite a little bit defensive. It's just sliding his SCVs over to the expansion, the orbital command being placed right in front of the blue minerals. And Gomas taking it easy, so right now the game is really a little bit passive for both players. Grubby added Void Ray, as you could see in the unit production tab. and right now he's on a lot of immortals, which will do quite well against the bunker, of course, and all those tanks, and seems to be ready to push the Void Ray in addition, and of course all those Stalkers will be able to support those immortals, and we have a couple of Zealots as well. Grubby right now on a roughly 70 supply, just building expansion. We see the combat shield being researched for the Terran player, no stim yet for him, and as far as I know, no engineering bay as well, so he isn't able to get any upgrades or anytime soon. And in the meantime, the Terran player just salvaged both his bunkers, and now Grubby's going in, gets the Guardian shield, is just attacking the bunker. We don't have the tanks being sieged up. The Immortals dealing quite a lot of damage, and immediately Gomas has to use all his SCVs in order to repel this push, but losing everything right now. Grubby on the other hand also losing a couple of units. The first Immortal just dies right away, and another one with 5 kills will join him soon. We have 54 supply versus 57. Grubby has to retreat, and actually Gomas was able to repel the attack of the Protoss player, but lost a lot of SCVs during that push of Grubby. Had to use them as a meat shield, and all those SCV just died. Has to rebuild his economy quite fast, and is obviously just using all his SCVs now in order to get a couple of minerals. No SCVs at those 2 refineries, and is immediately building those 2 bunkers again. So Gomas might really be a little bit annoyed with himself that he salvaged those bunkers right before the push of Grubby. Even with those immortals supporting the army of the Protoss player, those bunkers would have been really helpful. Right now we are on 72 versus 72 supply, so both players are roughly the same shape in the game right now. And again, Grubby is scouting with his observer, just checking the base of his opponent and adding a robotics bay as well in order to get a couple of Colossi, building Phoenixes as well. And those might be really crucial in this game, as he can quite easily just get a couple of shots off at the economy of his opponent. There is no engineering base, so no turrets coming in there anytime soon. And the first SCV just dies, the second one follows right away. So trying to harass the economy of his opponent just a little bit, just to keep him on his toes. And in the meantime, the Terran player is dropping the base of Grubby, and we see a drop with 8 Marines, killing off 1 pylon and retreating right away as Grubby just assembles his army in order to kill all those Marines and of course the medevac itself. And once again we see the Phoenixes trying to kill the medevac, and he's actually killing the medevac, and 1 Marine dies as well. 7 Marines are able to leave the medevac in time, but the last one is being killed with a transport unit. And Grubby immediately whopping in another couple of Stalkers. Of course, his expansion is running really smoothly at the moment. He's on 46 supply, harvester supply versus 41, getting quite a decent income right now and building his first Colossi, whereas the Terran player just started to research Stim as well as the first attack upgrade for his bio unit. And we have quite a lot of Marines for Gomas right now. 38 Marines chasing the observer and killing it. So Grubby lost his observer, is on 3 sentries right now. Couple of, yeah, here we see them, a couple of Phoenixes as well, and trying to pick off that Raven, but that won't be easy at all with those Marines just being able to defend it. And now Gomas tries to attack himself, takes the initiative in the game, and immediately Grubby once again targets the Raven and is actually able to pick it off. That's really well done by Grubby. So no point defense drone for the Terran player, and he's immediately retreating. Already had a couple of SCVs joining his army in order to repair his siege tanks. So that was a really smart move by Grubby, and Gomas just thought to himself, oh well, you know what, I'll just wait a couple of seconds and get some more units before I actually attack you. He's right now he's adding 3 more barracks, and we see another expansion coming up for Gomas. And Grubby is warping in a pylon in order to block the expansion another couple of seconds. So really well done by the Protoss player once again. And we see at the bottom right of the map that Grubby is also adding another expansion. He's just researching extended thermal lance, and here come the Phoenix once again, dealing extra damage to light armored units and trying to get the medevac. But 1 Phoenix dies to the turret, and Grubby is retreating, just now building a couple of more air units. Supply wise, he's on 128 versus 128 on the side of Gomas, so both players are on even supply right now. The harvester count is even as well, and Grubby still with a lot of immortals. I like that quite a lot. We have 4 immortals for Grubby, and yeah, Gomas is just relying on Marines, so there are actually no Marauders in his army. Just well, there are 2 Marauders, 3 Marauders.